Shabbat Shalom and Hag Sameach. We welcome all of you from home on this evening, as we know many of you are preparing for your Passover Seder around your table or joining someone on this evening. Perhaps you're watching this at a later time so you can catch up on Shabbat after having had a festive evening with family and friends for Passover. We begin this evening by sharing our blessing over our Shabbat and our holiday candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. May these festival lights open our eyes to the joys in life, beauty that delights the eye, freedom to be ourselves, the knowledge of Torah that shapes our moral being, the heritage of celebration that unites us as a people. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this season. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Please join us, page 20 in your prayer books, the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat lekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'lichila. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habaracha merosh mikedem lesucha, sof ma'aseh v'mashcha b'tchila. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech umiuri, uri, shir raberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the entrance to your home. Bo'I v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'sochola, toch emuneh am segula. Bo'I chala. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 26, Hatzi Kaddish.
Yikadav Shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari ve'imaru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alamo Amei Almaya Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnasi v'yitnatar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kodesh barichu le'elam mincha b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amira be'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
Please rise, page 28, as we face east for our call to worship, Baruch Hu.
Lai la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, and yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please join me with the V'ahavta on the next page. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meotecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom elevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'letecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha Ukshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On page 39, we share these words. They could not be more fitting for any night more than tonight. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40.
Tehilot, O Seifele, Nora Tehilot, O Seifele, Malachutecha, Ra'uvanecha, Bokei Ayam, Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zelianu ve'amaru, Adonai Yimloch, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam va'ed. Please join us in Vishamru on page 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam barit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam barit olam. B'nei Yisrael, B'nai Yisrael oti le'olam. V'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asut et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asut et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam barit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asut et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam barit olam.
Page 46. Please rise with us as we share the words of our Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'nehem lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, mechakel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofech olim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayim emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gavurot, Umido melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha sela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You can be seated if you'd like. As we take a moment for our own personal reflection, time for us to pray silently.
Oh, say shalom bimroma. Shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
I had the opportunity to share with a group of medical professionals this week the meaning of Passover so that they could be prepared to care for Jewish patients as best they could during our holiday. And one asked, how do you celebrate and find joy in this holiday? It seems to be so much about what has enslaved people and what is challenging. Isn't it a joyous spring holiday? I explained that Passover for us is our time to look out into the world and bring what is happening in the world around our tables as we look back through our most ancient story. And yes, celebrate our freedom, but certainly not ignore that we too were enslaved, that we have felt the chains upon us, on our shoulders as a people. Whether you are celebrating Passover by yourself in your own home, or visiting someone that you haven't been able to see over these last few years during the pandemic, whether your house is filled with people, whether you're cooking or a guest, collectively as a people, on this evening we remind ourselves that there have been challenging times for us, and we will not forget that there are challenging times for others. And so I share this prayer as we think of the people all over the world enslaved in this moment. Those in Ukraine fighting a war, those around the world fighting hunger, those fighting illness still in our country and in other countries as we continue to fight the pandemic. For the many ways and reasons and examples that can easily come to mind this year as to how people are enslaved, we offer this prayer from our holiday prayer book on this first night of Pesach. We are slaves because freedom means more than broken chains. Where there is poverty and hunger and homelessness, there is no freedom. Where there is prejudice and bigotry and discrimination, there is no freedom. Where there is violence and torture and war, there is no freedom. And where each of us is less than he or she might be, we are not free, not yet. May this week ahead of Passover help us each to find a little more freedom in our life, a little more of who we are, and may it also help us free those who are enslaved in so many ways. Hag Sameach, may it be a happy holiday, but may it also be a meaningful holiday. We'll continue with the words of Mishaberach as we offer these words of prayer for those who are in need of healing, as we wish them a refuah shlema, a full sense of being themselves.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Habracha Laimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Haracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn to page 282 now in our prayer books as we share the words of Aleinu.
Alinu l'shabeach ladon hakol ha'tekadu la'liotzer v'reishit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama shelo samchalkenu kahem v'goralenu kachol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malkei hamlachim hakadosh Baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We turn our thoughts now to those in our community that we've lost, as especially we think of those as we look around our tables this evening, who we know once sat at those tables, perhaps taught us the first questions, the four questions for the very first time. We think of our relatives at seasons like this, whom we've loved and lost. This week, we remember Dr. Barry Greenberg, Stanley Brandt, and Gloria Katz, whose families are still in the period of Shloshim, the first month of their passing. We add to their names Mitchell Altman, Joseph Applebaum, Anna Burke, Doris Danis, Elle Ferbstein, Gertrude Friedland, Frida Friedman, Dorothy Hirsch, Erwin Isroff, Mamie Jacobs, Howard Kay, Ben Klein, Ruth Cosman, Morris Kropko, Alvin Lieberman, Miriam Litt, Moni Markey, Suzanne Makadis, Minnie Morganroth, Jenny F. Moss, Harriet Stein Newman, Charles Newman, Carl G. Samuel, Stanley Schultz, Kay Schwartz, Sylvia Pat Stiskin, George Susselman, Richard Smith Taylor, Charles Herbert Tyler, Emma Weil, Paul Weiner, Harvey Weiner, Louis L. Weiner, Alexander B. Young, Brandon A. Young, and Landon Zuckerman. Please feel free to share the names of any of those that you've loved and lost out loud. If we omitted them or mispronounced them, we join together, page 294, the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemea, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We connect with those who are around us and with each other through our technology as we bless each other with the words of the priests. May God bless you and keep you. May God's presence be with you and be gracious unto you. May we always know, especially on Shabbat and our holidays, that as we are with those that we love in the midst of our community, that God is present and that that presence can bring us peace.
Amen.
We turn to lift our glass one of many times this evening, as I'll share the words of Kiddush and the festival reading for Passover. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen us from among the peoples, exalting us by hallowing us with mitzvot. In your love, Adonai, our God, you have given us Shabbatot of rest, feasts of gladness, and seasons of joy. This Shabbat day and this festival of Pesach, the season of our freedom. A sacred occasion, a remembrance of the exodus from Egypt. For you have chosen us from all the peoples and consecrated us to your service, given us Shabbat a sign of love and favor, and the festivals a time of gladness and joy. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat, Israel, and the festivals. Amen. We'll raise a piece of matzah as we'll say motzi together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
You can be seated if you'd like. A couple quick announcements. We want to point out that we have a few special Shabbatot coming up and a few special gatherings coming up. Tomorrow morning we will gather at the Nature Realm at 10 o'clock for a brief Passover morning service, and then hopefully a lovely walk with some lovely weather and blooming flowers. So please join us 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Nature Realm. Then we have on April 22nd a wonderful Friday night service highlighting the music of Sondheim as we look forward to a special event we'll be holding this summer. So we invite you to join us on the 22nd and hear about all that's happening, a very special project that we'll share with you that evening, and a special celebration that you will be invited to this summer. So come get a taste of that special event on the 22nd. On the 29th, very important, services on the 29th begin at 7 p.m., not 6:15. So do not show up at 6:15 on April 29th. We have a guest speaker. Bel Yoeli from the American Jewish Committee is here to talk about anti-Semitism in America today. It is our community Shabbat, and so all of the synagogues in Akron are invited to join us. We hope you will join us as well. Services will begin at 7 and the speaker at 7:30, and the program will go until about 8:30, followed by a festive oneg. So we hope you'll join us on the 29th. Just join us at 7 o'clock. We'll conclude with the words of Lashana Haba'ah, words we'll be sharing around our Passover tables this evening as well. We hope to see you many, many times, but we always wish for the opportunity for next year to be in Jerusalem.
Lashana Haba'ah, Lashana Haba'ah, Lashana Haba'ah b'Yerushalayim. Lashana Haba'ah, Lashana Haba'ah, Lashana Haba'ah b'Yerushalayim. Chag Pesach Sameach and Shabbat Shalom.